On this episode of China Uncensored, happy birthday, Edward Snowden! Hi, welcome to China Uncensored. I'm your view to a kill, Chris Chappell. So, there have been some pretty major developments with this guy, Edward Snowden. You know, the one who told the whole world about how the US is spying on, well, everyone. Snowden turned 30 last Friday and celebrated with some pizza and Pepsi while being holed up in Hong Kong. So now we know he's a Pepsi guy. I'm a Coke guy. Now, if that wasn't enough of a shocking revelation to turn you against him, let's take a look at what else is happening with the man who sent US security officials into a scramble. Besides the recent revelations by the South China Morning Post that Snowden specifically took the Booz Allen job so he could collect proof on NSA's surveillance program, well, long story short, he's left Hong Kong and is now in Russia. Good God, he went to Russia? Not only that, but he was supposed to be on his way to Havana, Cuba, yet another country known for its record of press freedoms and human rights. Though apparently he wasn't on the plane that was supposed to take him there, and Russia's totally been like, we don't know where he is. Now, no one knows if he'll stay in Russia or head over to Cuba eventually, but Ecuador, a longtime critic of the US and shelterer of Julian Assange, the founder of Wikileaks who's hiding from US officials for exposing US diplomatic cables, has said Snowden has applied for asylum there and they'd consider taking him in. At this point, the US is realizing that some of its so-called allies are really not acting in a very allied-y way. On Friday, the US officially charged Snowden with espionage crimes, but before they could convince Hong Kong to arrest Snowden and send him back to the US, someone told Snowden to hurry up and get the heck out of there. Now, that's kind of surprising because Snowden was quite confident that he'd be able to camp out in this Chinese territory and fight any extradition attempts by the US. I mean, he revealed a lot of information about how the US is allegedly hacking emails and text messages in China, and this was perfect for the Communist Party to deflect hacking accusations the US had been making against the regime. So it would make sense that China would see Snowden as an asset, and so would want to keep him, and plus, a lot of people in Hong Kong grew very supportive of him and were willing to fight to keep him away from the US. But according to Hong Kong's South China Morning Post, Beijing apparently made the call to have Snowden leave the city because China's top leaders still want US-China relations to be stable, and if Snowden kept staying in Hong Kong, it would get pretty messy. But on the other hand, China didn't just hand Snowden over because, I mean, they don't want to appear to be bowing to the big old imperialist enemy. So the perfect solution, send Snowden packing. But make sure it's to somewhere that probably won't listen to the US either. Russia. You know, I think the Chinese regime really won up the US in this whole saga. While we still don't know what kind of role it had in Snowden's choice to go to Hong Kong and reveal all these secrets about the US in the first place, it's really emerged as the winner in all of the events that have unfolded. It goes without saying that the hacking claims took the heat off Beijing and has made the US look really, really bad. But that's exactly what the Communist Party wants, to turn this into some sort of knee-jerk oppression Olympics. You know what's a major threat to the Chinese regime? An American public that cares about China. So when this sort of thing happens, people fall into a trap of saying China hacks the US, but the US hacks China too, so they're both the same, right? Wrong. The NSA did this for security reasons. You may not agree with how they did it. It was, after all, done in the shadiest way possible. But what the Chinese regime has been doing in surveillance and cyber attacks is on a whole different scale. Plus, it's not just for security intelligence. They listen to phone calls and monitor online discussions to track down dissidents and torture them. They hack foreign businesses to steal intellectual property. They steal military intelligence so they can cut down on their own R&D. So yeah, they're really not the same thing. So whatever Snowden's original intentions were, even if he did really believe he was standing up for freedom of speech and human rights, he has to know he's being used by some of the world's worst violators of those things. Well, there's a comment section below. I'm sure some of you are burning to write something. And if you want to know more about the Edward Snowden saga, check out my other episode, Edward Snowden, the Spy Who Loved Me. Thanks for watching.